Happy Friday. My name is Lexi, and this is a Sincerely Self podcast. I hope everyone had a great week. If you did not watch the podcast last week, it was kind of fun, but if you watched it on the YouTube, you would know it was in my car. Today it's not in my car, it's in my room. This is my new room for the time being, and yeah, it's kind of fun, kind of slay. You can see my squishmallow in the back. It's back to school season. I mean, I'm not in school right now, but a lot of people are going back to school this week or have been within the last few weeks. And I actually have 4 younger siblings who are in high school right now, which is kind of crazy. You know that sound on TikTok that's like, I'm not just a bitch, I'm a bitch with a backstory. I literally have 9 younger siblings. So I wanted to give some big sister advice. I feel like I'm warranted to do it. I got 9 younger siblings, and I wanted to give some advice on just things I wish I knew when I was 16, or just things that I wish I knew in high school, honestly. I'm 22 now. I'm gonna be 23 in February, next February. And it really doesn't feel like I was 16 that long ago, but it kind of was a while ago. I graduated in 2020. Kind of crazy. And so I just wanted to give some advice on, things that I wish I knew at that time. I was going to give a little rundown of my week, but nothing too crazy. My boyfriend has moved back to Utah. I don't know if I said that we had both moved back, but he is now moved back as well, which is super fun. And yeah, this past week, I have just been kind of chilling. School starts this week, and so one of my jobs is going to be starting up this week. I've also been trying to get more consistent in the gym. I used to be super consistent in the gym, and then I moved and I kind of lost it. So that's what I've been trying to do this week as well. Oh, I almost forgot. I went to Grade A yesterday, Suicide Boys concert. This was my 4th year going, and it's my favorite concert in the whole entire world. It definitely was a little bit more expensive this year, but it was so worth it and so amazing. So if anyone else went to Grade A, let me know, because it was so good this year. Okay, back on to the topic of literally what we're talking about. The first thing that I wish I knew when I was 16 was that it's okay to not be like everybody else. Especially growing up in Utah, I'm just gonna say it, a lot of people are kind of the same, come from pretty much the same background. Half of them were raised in the church, which there's nothing wrong with this, right? Most people play a sport, they got their group of friends, and that's it. That's pretty much how most people are. A lot of people will dress the same, just going off of the styles. And so if you're not fitting into that, you can kind of feel out of place. Another thing, I don't know if this is just in Utah, but blonde hair in high school is such a big deal. So everyone was dyeing their hair blonde, for real. And so I of course jumped on that bandwagon, and yeah, I had bleach blonde platinum hair. It was pretty much a slay. I don't have anything against blonde hair. Obviously, I'm putting more blonde back in my hair, but I feel like for me, when I was 16, I felt a lot of pressure to change myself to look like everybody else. And now that I'm 22, I'm like, what was the point in that? You know what I mean? I wasted a lot of time where I could have been more of myself. And I feel like if you don't really know what that is, that's totally normal. I didn't really know my style or my interests or anything really until, honestly, I graduated. And then I was able to kind of develop myself a little bit more, especially in college. I only did 2 years of college, but it was super fun to kind of figure out my individuality, to move out and everything like that. But when you're 16 and you're living at home and you're going off of social media and everybody else around you, it's really easy to feel like I'm the odd one out. But there's nothing wrong with that. Genuinely. If you are living in your authentic self and dressing the way you want to dress and doing the things that you want to do, even if they're not popular and everybody's doing them, good for you, because it takes a lot of grit when you're 16 to be an individual. And I think it's so cool to be able to do that. And so don't feel bad if you're not like everybody else. That's a good thing. It's also okay if you do not like high school, okay? Not everybody loves high school. Not everybody is like, those were the best years ever. Nobody wants to be that person that peaked in high school, okay? If high school was the peak of your entire life, like, what are you doing with your adulthood? You know? So not liking high school is not a big deal. I know in movies and shows, high school is propped up to be the best 4 years of your entire life, whatever. Girl, you ain't even gotten to college yet. That's when there's so much more going on, so many more school activities, just so many more opportunities, and just so much more freedom. So, like, you do not want to be the person that peaked in high school. Trust me, babe. So it's totally fine if you don't really like high school. Next thing that I really wished that I knew was that you need to take your grades seriously, you know, to an extent. Like, don't spend the whole 4 years just trying to get the perfect grades, not going to any social events, not trying to make any friends, like not doing any activities in the school, anything like that, because when you graduate, you're going to regret it and feel like you missed out on a lot. So prioritize your grades, okay? Don't let them just slip and fail every class, because I didn't do that, but I didn't do the very best that I could have for sure with grades. I was just prioritize hanging out with my friends or sleeping in or things like that. And now I wish I would have taken school a little bit more seriously, taking college classes in school. If your school lets you do that, do it. I know some people that I graduated with who already had a degree other than just their high school degree. And so it put them that much further in college. It's so much cheaper than college is. I remember I was like, I'll just do it in college. I'll just do my generals in college. I don't care. Girl, do your generals in high school if you can. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be really hard. But when you graduate, that's so much money you saved and so much time you saved. You'll be able to graduate so much younger, and it's just gonna be awesome. So take school grades a little bit more seriously and do college classes if you can, because it puts you that much farther ahead, and I wish I would have known that. Next thing is, it's okay to come from a family that doesn't know a lot about college. College was pressured a lot in my high school, which is normal, you know, but it also was pressured a lot if, like, I don't know, there were a lot of things that they expected you to know or for your parents to know to help you with. And like, if you were a first generation student, it was, I mean, there were resources, but you had to go out and look for them. And so it's okay if you are the first person in your family to be able to go to college. That's so cool. And don't take it as like a pressure to do it. Like, just do it with honor and like do it because you can, you know? And it's okay if you have to go to school counselors to help you with college stuff because your parents don't know, because they didn't get that opportunity. And so it's okay to reach out to school counselors, college advisors to help you with that sort of thing. Like, I remember when I was first starting college, I would go to my advisors to help me apply for scholarships and things like that and help me do FAFSA, because my parents and my family had never done it before. So it was really awesome to be able to have those outlets. And yeah, that's something I wish I knew at 16, was that it's okay that you don't have a lot of family that went to college. It's also okay to not want to go to college and to want to take another route. Like, I did 2 years of college and I decided it was not for me right now. You know what I mean? And so don't put the pressure on to go to college if like you're not going to go for something that is actually going to benefit you, because it is expensive. Okay, girl, it doesn't have to be, but even with scholarships, sometimes it's going to end up being a little bit expensive. And so make sure you're going to college for something that you really do want to do, or look into a different route. There's like beauty colleges. There's so many different colleges out there that you can do, or you can take a break, figure something else out. Literally just do whatever you want to do for your future. But if your only reason for not doing college is because you're too lazy to, that's a different story, okay? But if it's just because like there's nothing that really fits you that you would study in college, like, just wait it out and you'll find something. The next thing that I wish I knew in high school was, it does not matter what the boys think of you. Seriously. I remember when I was in high school, there was this trend going around where people would make group chats, like guys would make group chats, and you would slide up, they'd be like, send your picture for a rate. This is evil. They'd be like, send your picture for a rate. And so they would then send a picture of you to this boys group chat, and they would all rate you on a scale from 1 to 10. and then post it on their story. So everybody was seeing what these boys were rating you. And like, what the fuck is that? Like, that's actually insane. And so that was a thing going on. And I remember I did that one time, and there were these boys. I don't remember exactly why they didn't like me, but I think it was because this is a different story and I'm not gonna get super into it, but I had this friend in high school and there were these boys that were like super mean to her, and they like put dead fish on her car, and that's a whole other thing. I'm not gonna get into it. But I remember we called them out one time, and so one of those boys was in this group chat, okay? And so his whole group of friends did not like me, right? And so I don't know why I slid up, okay? That was my choice. At 16, I really cared what random boys thought about me. Even though I didn't want to date them or anything, I cared what they thought about me, okay? So I submitted my picture, and they all said 0 out of 10. And that was posted publicly to Snapchat. And I was like, I remember I let that affect my self-esteem so much, and looking back, I'm like, why did I care? Why did I care what they thought about me? How they feel about how I look really is not going to affect the way, should not affect the way that I feel about myself, okay? There's plenty of fish in the sea, and if boys are just going to be mean to you, it's not worth it. That's another thing. I feel like a lot of times your first relationship happens in high school, and half the time it's a pretty toxic one because you're young, you know? Me personally, I mean, I had a boyfriend at 16, but it was like a 3-week long relationship, seriously. So I don't really have any experience with that, but just from seeing my friends and things they went through, I was friends with a lot of people who went through a super toxic relationship in high school and it affected them really bad. So if your boyfriend or girlfriend does things that do not make you feel good and they make you feel bad about yourself, or they cheat on you, or they lie to you, or they call you mean names, or they hit you, they do not love you. And I feel like this is a lesson a lot of us still learn as we get older, but when you're 16 or in high school, it's really hard to see that. Do not stay with someone just because you don't want to be by yourself. Sometimes it's better to be by yourself than to be, in trouble, and like go to your friends or your family or counselors at school and literally talk to someone. If you are in a relationship in high school or at all that you're like, is this normal? Like, am I supposed to feel this way? Is it normal for them to do this to me? Ask someone. If you don't want to ask your close friends or family, ask a school counselor, because if you feel like it's not normal, it probably is not, and people are willing to help you out a lot more than you think, okay? So that brings me to my next thing. I got so depressed in high school. I mean, my peak of depression was probably like right after I graduated, but there's a lot of things going on then. So COVID, multiple things were going on. In high school, I got pretty depressed, with comparing myself to other people. I feel like it just happens. You have a lot of hormones going on, like a lot of pressure, different things, and it's okay to get help. And it's okay to let people know that you're not doing okay. I remember I would not let people know, and I would just struggle kind of in silence. And then as I got older, I would tell my family like I was really doing bad, and they're like, why would you not like let us help you? You know what I mean? And just keep saying you're fine when you're not. Like, it's okay to go to your parents, it's okay to go to your family if you feel safe with them. It's okay to go to therapy. I think therapy is a really good thing, and it has a lot of taboo around it, but I talked about this before. Therapy is amazing. It genuinely changed my life. I'm not actively going to therapy right now, but I need to be. I want to be again. And it changed me so much in the best ways possible. And I think everybody should go to therapy. Everybody. Doesn't matter how mentally well you think you are. And don't feel bad about it, because there is nothing wrong with wanting to improve yourself. That's actually very admirable. And it's nice to have somebody to talk to. So, and it's good advice, you know what I mean? So don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't feel shamed or lame or weird for it, okay? And let people help you. Next thing I wish I knew in high school is that some people are in your life just for a season, okay? I had a lot of friends in high school that like I stopped being friends with. Whatever, it happens to everybody. Everybody has that. And some of those people I really thought were like my best friends for life, and some people, I've had friends that I've had for like 12 years. One of my friends I've had since we were little, so like we were like 2 years old, so probably like 20 years, 21 years that me and her have been friends. So you have some of those lifelong friends, but then some people are not going to be in your life forever, and that's totally okay. Something that I like to remind myself when I'm going through like a friendship breakup or just losing somebody close to you just because you guys drift apart is people come into your life for one of two reasons: to teach you something, like teach you some sort of lesson, or to better you. But not everybody is going to stay forever, okay? All of us are growing, and some people grow apart and go into different chapters, you know? And sometimes you'll grow apart from people, and then a while later you'll get close again. You never really know. And so be more comfortable with the fact of like losing friends, you know what I mean? And understanding like that they either taught you something, or you guys are just grown apart for a period of time, or you guys have just grown apart, you know what I mean? And that it's okay and it's normal. And try and think of like the lesson that they taught you. Like, did this person teach you that like what boundaries you have, you know? Did this person teach you like what it's like to be a good friend and what's not okay and whatever, you know? Also, in high school, sometimes this will happen where like, I don't know why, but like this will happen a lot where people will like, their friend will like get with their boyfriend or their ex or whatever. Like, sorry, I don't think that's normal, okay? And I think that's really against girl code. And so if you feel weird about it, speak your boundary, bro. Because I remember when I was in high school, my best friend at the time, I had just started talking to this guy. Well, maybe I was like about to graduate, but I was talking to this guy. It was nothing crazy. I was just Snapchatting him, okay? And she had like met him, and she DMs him and asks for his Snapchat, my best friend at the time. And she didn't tell me, he told me. Like, isn't that so embarrassing? And like, I only talked to this guy for like 2 weeks maybe, but like, that really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I stayed friends with her because I was like, that makes me feel kind of weird, but whatever. She's telling me it's fine. And then she ended up doing more weird shit to like more of our friends. So it's like, if somebody shows you their true character, accept it for what it is. Accept it for what it is. If someone does the same shit over and over and over and over and over, and you share how it makes you feel, and there's still no even sign of change, or they won't accept it, tell them goodbye, because there's so many people in the world who are going to treat you good. And honestly, there's so many friendships I had that like, if I would not have let go of those, we would not have became friends again. Like, some of my closest friends right now, we were friends in high school and we kind of drifted apart for a few years, and we all grew as people, and now we're so close again, and like in the healthiest way ever, and it's awesome. So let it happen, and it'll go how it's supposed to go. Okay, I'm gonna call that it for this episode. If you are going into school this week, whether it be high school, college, middle school, whatever, if you're just starting the school year back up, I wish you the best of luck. You got this. If you're just starting college, honestly, a lot of those things still apply, you know? It's okay to not know what you're doing. It's okay to let go of friendships. And it's okay to be yourself, okay? If you are watching this video on YouTube, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Share this with someone you know who is going into high school, okay? If this resonated with you, let them know and share it with them. And if you learned something from this, let me know. Also, if you're on the YouTube, comment down below what's something you wished you knew in high school, because I definitely probably did not get everything for everyone. So comment down below what you wish you knew in high school. If you are listening to this episode, make sure you give the podcast 5 stars. Make sure you follow the podcast. If you follow me on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Amazon Podcasts, and iHeartRadio, those ones I know for sure that you can follow me, and it'll notify you every single time that I upload an episode. So if you forget, or if I don't upload on a Friday, then you will be able to know whenever I finally get it up. So make sure you click the little bell so that you get notified. Also, I have the Instagram, and I made a new TikTok for Sincerely Self. I was originally just using like my main one, but honestly, I just thought it was time that I make a podcast TikTok. So that is also on my link tree. It's just at the very bottom. So make sure you follow the TikTok if you want to just see little clips from the YouTube, and also the Instagram. I will post those. I'm starting to do a self-care Sunday, where on Sundays I'm going to post affirmations or meditations that I'm doing, other podcasts that I'm listening to, books I'm reading, whatever. Because for me, Sundays are my reset day. I write down everything that I'm going to do that week. I do my affirmations, I do my goals, I clean my room, just redo my entire space and get ready for the new week. And so I want to help you guys do that, and me doing this will help me do it too. And so we're going to reset our week all together on the Instagram. So make sure you go and follow the Instagram. And that is it for this week's podcast. I love you guys, and I will see you next Friday. I hope you have a great weekend.